Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready to dive into something a little different this time?
Always up for a challenge. What are we tackling today?
Well, today we're looking at excerpts from, get this, the Squirming Coil. And boy, does this poem capture something. One of the first things that struck me, and it kind of weaves through the whole thing, is this idea of the squirming coil. Like, what even I best that, right?
Right, it's like mysterious, unsettling even, and it seems to pop up in all these different contexts.
Okay, so let's jump in with a couple of lines to give everyone a taste. How about the squirming coil of sunset? What's your take on that?
Wow, okay, so we're already playing with contrasts, right? You've got the beauty and serenity of the sunset, but then bam, screaming coil. It's almost like this underlying current of unease, something a little dot
Oh,
off.
yeah, I get that. And it gets even weirder. Listen to this. He wasn't quite the speed of light, and the squirming coil, it got away.
See, this is where the poem really starts to mess with you. You're trying to grab onto something concrete, light, speed, something measurable, but then it got away.
That's the beauty of it, though, right? It's like a dream slipping through your fingers.
Totally. And just when you think you're getting a handle on it, bam! Satan on the beach. Talk about a curveball. Right. It's so unexpected, but it works. It's like, who puts Satan on a beach? It's jarring, but it makes you pay attention, and it makes you think, what does Satan even mean in this context?
That's the thing with poetry, isn't it? It's about the feeling, the symbolism. It's not always meant to be taken literally.
Precisely. It's about digging into those deeper meanings. So with Satan on the beach, maybe it's about temptation, maybe it's about rebellion, or maybe it's something else entirely. It's up to us to decide what resonates.
I love that. So, okay, we've got these vivid images, this unsettling coil lurking everywhere. Then the poem shifts a bit. We meet a mother, children, and even a king strolling down this crooked street. The whole vibe feels different, a little darker, don't you think?
Definitely. There's a shift in tone. Absolutely. And I think that sense of a crooked street ties back to the idea of the squirming coil, doesn't it? It suggests a path that's not straightforward, maybe even a little sinister, like something is hidden, lurking around the bend.
Whoa, yeah. And there's this sense of things coming full circle. The king walks down the street and returns, birth being complete. It feels cyclical, like a repeating pattern.
Exactly. And isn't that what the squirming coil might represent? This inescapable cycle, whether it's of life and death, power and corruption, or something else entirely.
Okay, so we're talking about cycles and things repeating. Well, the poem introduces us to a character named Jimmy. We're told he understands the forest's tasty nectar shoot. And then we get this image of a monarch all decked out in finery as the sun sets on him.
It's like this clash between the natural world and the artificial world. And the setting sun, there's that sense of time passing, of things fading away.
Yeah. So what's going on in this section? What's the poet trying to tell us with Jimmy and the monarch?
Well, for me, it's about the fleeting nature of things. Beauty, power, even life itself. It's all temporary. And those sensory details, licking, tasting, they suggest that real knowledge, the kind that sticks with you, comes from experience, even if that experience is bitter or fleeting.
And that brings us to another powerful image, another figure who learned a harsh lesson about reaching too high. Icarus. Remember, he flew too close to the sun, his wings melted, and oh well, you know the rest.
A classic tale of ambition and its consequences. But here's the thing, the poem tells us Icarus tasted the coil. It wasn't just a mistake, it was a choice, a conscious decision to reach for something extraordinary.
So are we supposed to see Icarus as a cautionary tale? Or a kind of dot hero? He dared to touch the untouchable, even if it cost him everything.
Right. It's both, isn't it? It's a reminder that the most tempting paths often come with the steepest prices. But there's also something beautiful about his daring, his willingness to experience something few others ever could.
Okay, so we're grappling with these big ideas, temptation, consequence, the allure of the unknown, and then bam, the poem ends, and I'm not even kidding with this. Stun the puppy, burn the whale, little Jimmy's off to camp. What just happened?
Right. Talk about a tonal shift. It's jarring, almost nonsensical. But that's the point, isn't it? Life is full of these unexpected turns, chaos reigns, and sometimes the consequences of our actions, even the smallest ones, well, they ripple outward in ways we can't predict.
It's like the rug's been pulled out from under us. And yet it kind of fits, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because life doesn't always tie things up neatly with a bow.
Exactly. The ambiguity is intentional. It leaves us questioning, wondering, maybe even a little unsettled, which is in a way the perfect ending for a poem as thought-provoking as The Squirming Coil.
Absolutely. So we've explored this poem, this squirming coil, which could represent so many things: temptation, consequence, the relentless march of time, the unknown lurking beneath the surface. It's a lot to process.
And that's the beauty of it, right? It stays with you. It makes you think.
It really does. And, it makes you wonder, what if this squirming coil isn't some external force? What if it's something within each of us? That drive, that hunger for knowledge, for experience, even if it means courting danger. What do you think?
I think that's a question we all have to answer for ourselves. And maybe the answer is different for each of us, depending on what we're willing to risk and what we're willing to lose.